All right. Thank you so much for downloading today's episode of Carl Buys Houses. My name's Carl Krenzel, your host here today, here to help you with your real estate sales needs. Thank you so much for downloading today's podcast. I'm super excited about bringing some really good news for you today. Today, what I'd like to share with you about is a little bit about Tucson code enforcement. Now, if you're not overly familiar with it, don't worry about it. It's not like people spend a ton of time trying to get used to it and understand all the nuances of code enforcement. But if you're a homeowner here in Tucson, one of the things that you're probably aware of are some of your neighbors who might from time to time do things to their property that are unsafe or perhaps pose a potential safety hazard. Well, today what we're going to talk about are code enforcement and code enforcement issues. And what I'm going to share with you today is a quick video that I found on YouTube from KGun9 today, talking about a recent RV park that's facing some of these code enforcement issues. I'm going to talk with you a little bit about how people actually place code enforcement requests when they find a problem. And then on the other hand, I'm going to show you what it looks like when the city gets them, so you can actually see what the code is people are dealing with in real time, right? So let's go ahead and tune in to a real-time problem facing people today with code enforcement. Let's tune in. KGun9 gives us an example of something that's recently happened. Check this out.
Kathy Clare is worried about her future at the Shady Lane trailer park on West Prince Road.
We basically got a 30-day notice.
Kathy says the last 5 years have been good. Then she got this eviction notice from the owner last month. She claims the city of Tucson is changing the zoning on the property, and now some of the tenants who have been there for years have to go.
It'll take me time to find a place for us to be accepted, and I'm terrified I'm not going to find a place in 30 days. And then where am I going to go, and what do I do with my trailer? I need more time.
So the concerned renter went down to City Hall to ask Mayor Regina Romero for more time to move out.
One person has been here for 15 years.
According to the owner, the RVs were grandfathered in to allow for long-term rentals when she bought the land in 2010.
The owner of the property, she's devastated at the loss of income.
The owner didn't go on camera, but showed us the old and new site plans and says her new plan was approved last December, then denied on the same day.
2011, right?
Longtime manager Tony Russo is worried that some of the renters will be homeless.
I want to see the RV thing be reinstated so we can get these people back in. So these people are there, don't have to worry about where they're going to go.
KGun9 went down to City Hall with questions, and city leaders say they're not evicting anyone. We're told a 2019 sewer complaint to code enforcement revealed other safety issues on the property, including more RVs than the city allows.
This has to do with the health and safety regulations.
We sat down with Clayton Trevelyan with Planning and Development, and he says the park never had a grandfathered status.
This park has a non-conforming status, which means that at some point in time, the property was approved for a specific number of units and configuration in the park.
The site is limited to 28 units because only 28 utility spaces were built into the original site plan. Additions must be approved by inspectors, and a zoning change for more space can take up to a year to process.
Of those 28 units, they would be allowed to have 7 permanently established RVs that are permanently connected to the utilities.
The city is also helping the renters with federal funding for housing and suggested an RV park 4 blocks away. At this point, Kathy and her neighbors are still hoping to stay on the property.
We're a community, and we help each other out. And it's devastating for me to lose a community of people that watch out for my son when I'm gone.
The city is sending updated documents to the owner outlining the zoning and code enforcement process. We'll keep an eye on the story and let you know.
Keep my promise to you and show you behind the scenes how this kind of works. Now, as you see, the mobile home park had code enforcement called on them, and that's what ultimately led to all these other issues that they found. Now, you can find this website at tucsonaz.gov /code enforcement. You'll see where you'll be able to go ahead and report a code enforcement violation. Now, this is helpful in the sense that if you've got an area where you live, where you've got a home that is dilapidated, has a lot of excess vegetation, junked vehicles, unsecured pools where mosquitoes get into, or small children, unsanitary conditions, pest, cockroach, unsafe living conditions. This is really where you can go ahead and make claim to the city of Arizona, the city of Tucson, to go ahead and check out some of these things. Zoning, peddlers, unapproved home occupation via businesses, more than 4 yard sales a year. I mean, whatever it takes, you can drop a dime on your neighbors right here at the code enforcement site. Now, this is ultimately what they'd like to see. They'd like to see, you know, things like junked cars and weeds and all that. They want you to go ahead and fill out something telling them a little bit about where it's at, the nearest intersection, your name, your email address, your contact, photo if you have it. That way they know exactly what to send out to solve the problem. Now, what will happen then from that point, you'll go ahead and get listed in a list of things that need to go ahead and get taken care of. This is a list of just some of the code violations that you'll find throughout the city. This is at neighborhoodsupport.net is where you'll find this information. So let's say, for example, let's just go take a look at some of the more popular neighborhoods. Let's say, oh, I don't know. I always like to pick on other people. Let's see if maybe we can pick on Sam, I don't know, Sam Hughes, right? Good little neighborhood over there. Let's pick on Sam Hughes. Surely they don't have any code violations over there. Well, what do we got here? Let's see. Temple Emmanuel is not maintaining their row vegetation, and saplings are starting to take root. Okay, well, that's not exactly what we're looking for here. Let's see. How about, here we go. Homeless camp on the northwest corner of the parking lot of this property at 2343 East Broadway Boulevard, right? You got homeless camps. Looks like there's a couple of them right there, right? Let's see here. What else? Accumulated refuse, overflowing garbage cans, right? Now, for me as an investor, when I'm driving through Tucson and talking to people, I'm looking for properties all the time that have a lot of problems. So, for example, this one right here, excessive weeds growing in the front yard. Over here on 4th Street, right? Let's take a look at this complaint. It's been open for 530 days. It looks like they've been dealing with this for quite some time. Okay, let's take a look. Excessive weeds growing on the property at 3015 East 4th Street in Sam Hughes. They got a bunch of trash, it looks like. Yeah, so this tells you a little bit about some of the violations for that. Let's take a look at a different neighborhood. Maybe we can find something a little sexier here, like Doolan. Let's go over there in Doolan. Here we go. 2432 North Sparkman Boulevard. Let me zoom this up a little bit so you can see this, right? 2432 North Sparkman Boulevard, right? Police on the scene of the building that needed to be condemned, right? This was back in 9/25 of 19. Now, obviously, if you keep up with this on a daily basis like I do, then you're going to see different changes throughout the city. But you're going to be able to find, it says that this structure is vacant and secured. TPD and arrived and found teenagers on the property that tried to run. Of course. Calls came in that the people were on the roof, arrived in one unit still on site, still not able to locate the property or a representative for the property. The structure's been secured, has 3 doors and a window open where the plywood has been removed. Arcadian Industries has been called by TPD to have the structure secured. Says the roof is able to see daylight from the bottom of the unit. Someone did show the property while securing and looking for a demo estimate. So this right here you can tell is a property that is going to need some kind of work, or at least did back in November, October, I guess September of 25th, right? Let's take a quick look at the address, 2432 Sparkman here. 2432 Sparkman, let's see what that looks like. 2432 Sparkman. All right, let's take a look. We can see that this is right in the center of Tucson. And actually, it's very close to where these ladies are getting tossed out of their mobile homes, ironically enough. It's down the street from there. Okay, there you go. You can see this vacant building here, right? If you're an investor or someone who's so inclined, you could look at that property as a code violation type property, talk to the owner, and potentially get that property as something you could potentially flip. Demolish that entire structure right there and build in a brand new construction property. But all this begins right here from this particular page, the City of Tucson and their Code Enforcement Division. So if you've got an unwanted property near your home that's got a lot of extra junk or refuse or storage, homeless folks, junk property, weeds, whatever the problem is, you have a couple choices. You could certainly go ahead and go to TucsonAZ.gov code violation and have the City of Tucson go ahead and take care of it. Or you could also switch over to carlbuyshouses.com. Right? KARL buyshouses.com, right? You could go to there, tell me about it right here, and I'll go out and I'll take a look at it and I'll see what I can do about getting that property fixed up fast. In any event, that's what's going on. I'd love to get your opinions on it. Tell me what you think. 520-403-6227 or leave your comments in the links below. Thanks a lot, and as always, have a powerful day. Bye-bye.